11:30 in the morning.
Oh. Is it?
Yeah. No, it's
11:45.
It's 11:45 in the morning.
Dude, it's still the morning. That counts for something.
That's like half the day, bro.
Well, I've wasted my whole life.
Welcome, boys. This is episode 4, Marathon Podcast. This is the last one we do before we launch the show.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
Get it going.
Someone's going to listen to this, maybe.
I think at least one person. To this episode, maybe not. Definitely the first one.
Why not this one? This one will be fun.
Okay. I'll try and help.
Okay, so we are watching... There's just 3, right?
Just 3.
There's just 3 Back to the Future movies, and that's what we're doing today. I've seen just the first one, I think.
Oh, boy.
What are we in store for?
Well,
There's
the
a car.
There's a car. Thank you.
At least one.
There might be multiple.
Maybe throughout the entire series, there's more than one car. I mean, period.
You know what we should marathon? Cars. The animated series.
How many are
I think
there?
there's 4.
Are there?
I think.
Oh my God.
I think there's 3 or 4.
Dude, I've never seen any of them.
They're pretty good. Owen Wilson's in them as Lightning McQueen.
First one I
Is
remember
that the main
pretty...
car?
Yeah, man.
He is car.
Yeah, he's Lightning McQueen.
I remember the first one. I was like, "This is pretty fun," but like this isn't Finding Nemo level. Like, oh, this is the
it's
best
not
Pixar movie.
yeah.
And then I remember Cars 2 was the first like badly reviewed Pixar movie.
Yeah, because
ever.
it's the spy one.
Car spies?
Yeah, Lightning McQueen and Tow Mater, who's played by Larry the Cable Guy, go to Europe, I think, and start spying on like an international crime ring. Do you like it? Do you like that about the movie about cars?
I don't think we're going to watch Cars.
We could. Okay.
I don't think I'm going to watch Cars. I'm going to turn around on the couch the
Okay.
whole 4 movies. Look at the wall.
You'll probably give a better review than Henry and I do at the end of it. Have you guys watched the second 2?
I've seen the second one.
Okay.
Which
Is that the cowboy one?
the third one's the cowboy
Okay.
one. Haven't seen the third one. Anyway, the first one is like one of my favorite movies ever.
First one's great.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's incredible. A lot of people love the second one.
Really?
I am not one of those people, but
Interesting.
Was that one in the future?
They're all-
it starts in
are
the
they-
future, but they're hopping around a lot.
They
in the
hop
second
around.
one.
In all of them, right? Or mostly in the second one?
Yeah, it's
Mostly in
called Back to the
second one.
Future, bro. They're
The
hopping
first
around.
one is just
You
trying
got
to
to
get,
start somewhere.
The first one is just about getting back to the future, and then the second one they're like going future, past, like side to side,
Side to side.
alternate dimensions.
Oh.
What is that, across town? What does that mean?
Like, I don't know if you've seen Rick and Morty, but like they're getting in there.
Listen,
Okay.
our universe is like a piece of paper, and if you fold it and stick a pencil through it, that's how you get there.
Oh, I've done that. With my mind. Not with a piece of paper. Anyways, I have probably seen all of these.
Okay.
Saw the second and third one long ago. Don't remember much. I do remember the cowboy.
I think I saw that
Elements
scene
of the
removed
third
from
one.
the full movie, but did these come out like rapid fire, or was it like in some of these other series we've been watching?
right.
There's like this huge gap.
Yeah,
Did
between
these seem...
I'm pretty
Pretty
sure these
back to
came out.
back?
Yeah,
Okay,
every
sweet.
2, maybe 3 years, but like
Yeah. Okay, that's great. That's a good sign because usually when there's a huge gap, that means the one right before the huge gap really fucked up.
Even though that does bring it back. People forgot
We
about
gotta
it.
let this one sleep for 20 years. Bring it off the shelf.
Nah, I think all of these are solid.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
This is Spielberg, right?
Zemeckis.
Fuck. I'm not a real film.
What else has Zemeckis done?
Zemeckis did Forrest Gump
Bad.
and
What?
No, I love Forrest Gump.
Castaway. So Zemeckis
Also, okay. really
Castaway, like Zemeckis starts being like one of like the Spielberg level filmmakers, but recently
Yeah.
he's been the guy making the Polar Express or
Ooh.
like Marvin Town.
Marvintown?
I can't remember the Steve Carell one. He makes really intensely
Okay.
animated movies. Everything animated.
That's what he currently does.
That's what he currently
Okay.
does. He made the new Witches. Like
Okay, that's
all
cool.
about
That's a cool lane to fall into.
Zajakis.
No.
Can you say his name?
Zemeckis, Robert Zemeckis.
Robbie.
Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie. Is this a breakout film for Robbie?
I don't know. I feel like
This
Call him
movie,
up. Let's
this
call him
movie
right
was
now.
like big time when it came
Yeah.
out, right? This is like a blockbuster.
definitely. I think it was already like a studio movie. It wasn't like I'm gonna make it. It wasn't like James Cameron making a low budget
Yeah.
Terminator
Yeah,
the
this
first time
seems-
and then making a big one. I think it was
Pretty
already
serious. Are any of these actors famous already?
Michael J.
Michael
Fox.
J. Fox, for sure.
That's it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone else is like, respected a little, like they're getting some clout, but like he's a star.
I can't. I feel bad. I can't remember the doctor's name, but he's a recognized actor as well too.
He would have been recognized.
Yeah,
Christopher Lloyd.
Yes,
but this definitely made him like a household name, whereas before he was like what do you call like a character actor? Like people know that he's a good actor, so they put him in movies, but he's not like a celebrity that audiences know. That's like the difference.
B-list. Is that the word?
No.
B-list champion.
So like B-list is still like being a celebrity or a star means the audience knows you, but being a character actor means you're like actually a good actor.
Oh.
But you're not a name. Like
I don't know the word for that, but I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think by this point everyone was like, okay,
he elevated
the guy.
He ascended.
He ascended. Well, cool. Is there anything else we should be talking about before we just jump right into these? I'm excited to just start watching them.
No, I remember the bully a lot.
The bully?
Biff
Tannen. Isn't that his name?
Yep.
Biff Tannen.
And everyone always talks about like flying cars and skateboards.
Yeah.
This film.
For the second one.
This is not even in the first one.
No.
Okay.
This one only is in the past. That's why they're trying to get back to the future. The second one is when they go to 2015 and they have flying skateboards.
Wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
we really missed out. We got to talk about what 2015 we thought 2015 was going to be.
Yeah, how it really,
how it really panned out.
Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Marty leads an ordinary life.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Yeah, well, history is going to change.
And 1985 is not his year. But Dr. Brown is about to change all that.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a Delorian?
He's sending Marty 30 years back in time.
It's a flying saucer from outer space!
Now, he's trapped in the past.
It's got to be a dream.
About to meet
chocolate.
His future father.
He's a peeping Tom.
Wow!
And he's making an impression on his mother.
He's an absolute dream. And he can sleep in my room.
Anything you do could have serious repercussions on future events.
Now, he's got to make his mother and father fall in love.
For crying out loud, I haven't even been born yet.
And only Dr. Brown can help him get back to the future.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Precisely.
Michael J. Fox.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Christopher Lloyd.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Back to the future.
Yeah.
I have a child.
I have a child.
Who'd Billy Zane play?
We're finding out.
3D glasses, man. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
What's up with the 3D glasses?
It's Back to the Future, man.
1955.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the bad guys. Like you can see him,
Oh, okay.
but he doesn't have a single line. We were distracted by 3D glasses.
Yeah,
Man.
he's just
That's
a street.
That's
a
all
street
I was
tough.
looking at.
Yeah.
I love that night. He still has them on.
He's still wearing those 3D glasses at night.
He does lift them to actually see. Yeah.
Oh,
I love
I
how
wanna see that.
Marty's plan was, I'm going to sexually assault my mom.
Yeah.
And then
Man.
when he gets down to it, he goes, oh shit, I can't do this. She's way too forward. The tables have turned.
What a crazy idea for a plot point in your movie is my character goes back in time and almost has sex with his mom.
Multiple times. Multiple times.
Why? Why is that part of this movie?
And they do end up kissing.
They do,
and they
yeah.
bring up the whole brother-sister thing.
Yeah. Is this where incest became popular?
Yep.
Became popular. People didn't think about incest before Back to the Future.
It was just the French royals before this. This opened
of
up
this
popularized it.
This opened up incest to the
Popular
masses.
in the U.S. maybe. Outside of
Christ.
the South.
I forgot how aggressive this movie was with that theme.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Good movie though.
Great movie.
Good movie though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember hearing ages ago, someone was like, this was a perfect movie script. Like the way they handle exposition and everything, and watching it for that, like, oh my god,
pacing's crazy good.
Pacing's crazy good. Just every moment in the beginning, they're introducing a new tidbit that's gonna come back around, but like so carefully, so like world building ish, or just like here and there that you like don't. It never feels like they're just spewing exposition onto you, even though they totally are.
Totally. Also, like they handled the time travel stuff very, very well.
Really
there's not holes at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could go back and like, oh, his button was buttoned, and then he went back in time, and it wasn't buttoned anymore.
Yeah, the car wasn't cold the last time it came back.
But they were they hit everything. There's not like a big thing that stands out at the end of this movie that's like, oh, well, it is good, but this time travel thing took me out of it. And that happens a lot in time travel movies for me. Not at all in this one.
Not at all.
And you believe it because you're like, yeah, Doc's a crazy scientist. Yeah. If anyone's going to make it happen, he's going to make it happen.
Yeah. Okay. Henry, would you mind running us through like a super quick plot summary of
Incest
this
plot.
Incest
incoming.
Oh, jeez.
Back to the Future. We have Marty McFly. He is like the coolest high school kid who's ever lived. Skateboards around everywhere. Best friend is a mad scientist. And he loves like the rock guitar.
Yeah.
But you know, like a typical teenager, like stuff is getting him down. He's not allowed to play guitar, whatever. And then one night he's hanging with his mad scientist buddy who's just invented a time machine. And he's super excited about it. But things go terribly wrong. It would take way too long to explain. The movie handles it much better than I could.
The Libyans, they're coming.
The Libyans.
They do bring in some terrorists that we'll have to talk about later. It's one of the like bruises, sore spots on the movie.
Yeah.
What didn't age?
It did not.
It did not make it into the future so well.
Yeah.
But he ends up going back in time accidentally to the year 1955, which is both when his mad scientist friend invented the time machine and also happens to be when his parents met.
Yes.
And he unintentionally prevents them from meeting. And because this is a movie, the way they meet is crucial to their entire relationship. So suddenly they're not in love anymore. And he has to make his parents fall back in love with each other or he will cease to exist.
Yes.
Disappear.
All while still trying to figure out how to get himself back to the future.
Back to the future. Man, this is so good. Just he goes back and then immediately ruins his entire situation.
Yeah, because his dad gets hit by...
Yeah, his dad's a creeper.
Yeah.
Which at first I felt bad for him, how he's getting, picked on by Biff.
Right.
But he was a peeping Tom. He's not the best.
He goes back in time, finds his dad, who's a peeping Tom, and then it's just him trying to figure out how to unfuck his life, basically, for the next hour and a half. But super entertaining the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool how that plot point kind of takes it over.
Yeah.
That is the story.
Yeah.
The actual story. They don't present it that way, but like the love story of making his nerdy, geeky father become like worthy enough of asking his mom out.
Yes.
Is like the heart of the movie. And I was thinking they do it so well.
They really do.
Crispin Glover, who plays his father,
yes,
is just incredible because he's so geeky. Like he's hilariously like not
just the mannerisms.
The mannerisms.
He's kind of flailing around.
Yeah, he's just long and gangly and like weird the whole time, and he has this little voice. And like the first time you see him in the movie, he's being berated by his boss, who like we later learned his boss is Biff. He was his like high school bully back in the day. So it's like he's always been under this guy's thumb. And it's like you both see him as this total geek, but like even when he's a peeping Tom, you still really feel for him. He has so much heart.
Lots of pity.
Yeah, the whole sci-fi novel writing passion he has.
Yeah, he has this whole passion for writing novels, but he doesn't want anyone to read them because how could he handle like the rejection? You're like, oh, this dude.
You're gonna be handling rejection for the rest of your life, buddy.
George, buddy.
Costly.
But still, I was imagining like this movie would just fall apart if you didn't want George McFly and Lorraine to fall in love. You really want them to fall in love.
You do. You do. They did a good job of playing that balance of like, oh, these are real characters with flaws, but also not. This is a villain.
Yeah. Although I will say Lorraine is a little bit too crazy.
A little bit.
On the crazy hot scale. She's a 10 crazy. About an 8 hot. Not working. But for George, he's kind of nerdy. Good match.
solid. The boys are talking about her, and it just cuts to her like in a diner, just like punching her friends in the arm. They probably directed her like, yeah, you guys are like having fun. You're like, you're goofy.
Just hit her
you're
on the
social,
arm, and she shoves her full force,
punching her friend,
beating her
up, taking her right out.
Maybe that was the base of the relationship, the violence,
the violence. I mean, pretty much, yeah. And so in the original timeline, they fall in love because
he gets hit by a car.
Because George McFly, the father, gets hit by her dad's car, and then they like take him into the house, and she like falls in love with him. But now the new timeline is that George McFly saves her from sexual assault and punches Biff in the face, and then she is just madly in love. Like,
yeah, I thought she was gonna fall in love with Marty again when he started playing Chuck Berry.
Yeah, but then he takes it too far with the Van Halen guitar soloing.
Perfect.
And by the way, that like scene might have been when I was like, I need to get a guitar and become a hero.
Ultimate
like a guitar
fantasy.
hero.
Yeah.
It literally is. You're not just like, oh, you're playing guitar and it's cool. It's like you're playing guitar and you make everyone in the crowd fall in love. Change their lives forever. Like
change the course of history.
Change the course of your own history. Just like save the
Chuck
day.
Berry's history.
Yeah, you invent rock and roll. Basically, that became my like standard for musicianship for a long time. Which is probably why I'm not a musician right now, because I could never live up to that pressure.
Never live up to that. Yeah. This movie begs you to watch the sequel.
Yeah.
Like you're dying to see more.
It does. Yeah, end on such a fun note of like, and then there's another.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing they're planned for another one. I don't know if they knew this was going to be this incredible, but
I'm back.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the sequel bait?
Sequel bait was so good.
Sequel bait's awesome.
I mean, this movie is just so good on its own, and then they do the little bait at the end, and you're just like, I need to see it.
Yeah. Let's just run through what happens at the end, I guess. So they get the parents hooked back up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have parents
through violence
against Biff and other people.
Oh yeah, there's another random bad guy who steals Lorraine from George in the dance.
Yes.
At the end, they're like, at their high school dance, they're about to kiss, which of course will seal the deal for all time.
That's how it works, actually.
That revived Marty. Him seeing his parents hooking up for the first time.
Oh, they're kissing. I'm alive.
Yeah, I think that also set a very intense precedent for me when I was like 10 or 11. First seeing this, I was like, okay, so first time I make out with a girl, like we are in.
That's it. Yeah,
that's it.
One and done.
Yeah. Future set in
Your
stone.
high school sweetheart will definitely be.
Yeah, you're like, you
forever.
sure you want to do this? Because buckle up, it's gonna be a ride.
If we kiss, we're gonna have 3 kids. It's the only option.
Oh, I wish there was more kids. Now that he's super cool.
Right, yeah. If his dad became cooler and then had like 18 children.
With multiple wives. The photo just has a whole slew of people in it.
Yeah, Marty's photo of him and his family just starts popping up with new siblings.
Okay, so George McFly beats up Biff Tannen at the climax of this movie.
One punch. Lefty, by the way.
Lefty. He's got his arm cranked behind his back. Full swing with the left. Connects. Knocks Biff Tannen out. So they're together. Marty McFly exists.
For now.
And then we get this, I don't even know, like, it's about to not work montage.
Oh my God. I was thinking that was the one part of the movie that is kind of exhausting to watch over again. Like every other part of it, I was just like, oh, I watched this movie when I was a kid. Like it was one of those ones I watched over and over and over again. Right. Literally, like within a day, you get to the end and you just started it again. Mm-hmm. I know all these scenes, and you rewatch them, you're like, oh God, yes, there's so many good points in this one. And that was the only moment where I was like, oh, boy. It's
kind of dragged out, honestly.
What, the whole clock tower?
Yeah, so Doc Brown is on this clock tower trying to hook up a cord so that when a lightning strike hits a clock tower, it'll power the DeLorean, and then Marty can go back to the future.
Yeah, the cord has been unplugged, and he's got to make it happen.
It gets unplugged twice.
Yeah, first it's unplugged. Then he has to climb slowly around the top of this clock tower, dangling over, and then he slips and he's dangling over the edge, and then it's like caught on his pants leg, but it's like slowly falling down.
And one hand dangles and pulls up his leg.
And then he's finally got both ends, and he tries to put him in, but there's not enough line, so he really huffs it and plugs them in together, but then it disconnects on another side. And you're just like, oh, and while this is happening, it's cross-cutting to Marty, who can't get the car started.
Right, he's literally just turning a key and like,
and then he honks the horn with his head, and it turns the car on.
Yeah. Very like classic. Last second, everything comes together.
Yeah,
he goes back to the future,
keeping the tension strong, and it works.
It works.
I mean, and that's how DeLoreans work too. Super unreliable, so it checks out.
Smash the dashboard to get it revved up.
Have you seen one of those in real life?
Yeah,
a DeLorean driving around.
Yeah.
Do they look that cool?
They look incredible.
Okay,
they're super heavy. I'm pretty sure their whole car is just steel.
So are none of them painted? Because the only ones I've seen photos of are just like this chrome.
I think they're all the same color. I don't know if they're painted or not,
okay.
or if that's just the metal material.
Well, it's a very cool car.
It is an incredible car.
Classic, it's iconic really, movie car.
Yeah, it's really heavy. It's not that fast, and it's extremely unreliable.
Can it hit 88?
Barely.
No, is that why they picked that?
Yeah, it's just the top speed of the DeLorean.
Okay.
But if I had the chance to get one, I mean, they're expensive now just because they're so rare. So many of them broke down that, you know.
It kind of feels like the 101 Dalmatians effect of you see it in a movie and then everyone's like, I want a Dalmatian.
Yeah, for 10 years. And then they're like, this car is undrivable. They're like, it just looks cool. That's it. Tons of product placement in this.
There really is.
Incredible.
Incredible amount. The Pepsi.
They say
sugar-free.
They say Pepsi a lot in this movie. This is a Pepsi film.
But, you know, and it was weird because it was really heavy in the first, like, 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a thing movies used to do.
I think that might be partially because they were trying to, like, definitively set the time period they were in.
Okay. That kind of makes sense.
Which is, I bet they were also like, we also want all the money that Pepsi's going to give us. So it was a combination of, that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That they were like, oh, this will work. Also, Pepsi will pay for a large portion of this movie.
We got to show it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just right off the bat, get those guys happy.
Yeah.
And then make our...
The Pepsi execs are not going to watch the full movie. They just need to see the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is cool. But I bet they all were like, "Damn, this is really good. We're gonna stay here.
This is a Pepsi film.
We're gonna finish this movie." Like, no, we got another meeting. No. We're gonna watch this.
Okay, so what do we have? Does it actually follow that
immediately
threat? Oh, really?
The second movie begins right at that moment that the first one left over.
That's awesome.
Because they go 30 years into the future, no?
Sure, but like it literally starts from that moment, that
like
last
that
scene.
Hit where they're going
straight continuous. I think it even redoes that scene we just watched because they recast the girlfriend.
Oh, really?
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
that sucks. Why?
That kind of sucks for her.
Well, at the time I read up on this because I had a major crush on that actress.
I mean,
and apparently there was some like family tragedy or crisis or something.
Oh, so she hooked up with her son or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a family tragedy.
She got too into character. Hooked up with her brother, son.
Just doing research for the role. I don't know.
Beat the shit out of all her friends.
Yeah. That's really cool, though, that they go straight into the next film.
I mean, that's what you want.
That
so
feels
badly.
rare in a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only in this kind of movie does it work because the whole thing is about just like constant wacky adventures.
Yeah.
Of like things sliding out of your control as opposed to like,
we have a quest of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
No, it's more of a movie of like something happens and then you're in the situation and you have to fix it, but then the situation keeps tumbling, snowballing.
I think the time travel really gives you a lot of mobility on what you want to do with that too.
Yeah.
We're going to do flying skateboards.
Is that in this one?
By the way, OG skateboard tech. Pretty cool. 8 wheels.
Ripped it off. Yeah.
Ripped that off some child's creation.
Yeah. Did you guys have a favorite like one-off character that we saw in this? Because there's a lot of
3D glasses. Man.
3D glasses guy is pretty strong.
I need to look him up. I don't know why he had 3D glasses or what's going on.
I liked the
to clarify for our audience.
Yes.
There's so Biff Tannen, the ultimate bad guy, just wanders around town with this posse of other bad guys.
Ruffians.
One of whom is Billy Zane, pre-Titanic.
We didn't recognize him.
We didn't recognize him at all. We just saw him in the credits at the end. But then another of these guys just has old paper red and green 3D glasses, and that is the defining feature of his character.
Everywhere he goes.
During the day, during the night, to prom or whatever
To
that dance
prom,
was.
yeah.
You know? He's like in nice clothes, but also still wearing those.
Oh, I think one of my favorites was the guy playing the saxophone in the school, the band during the prom where Marty McFly goes up and plays his guitar. Just not being, he's like into it for a little while, and then Marty starts going too far. He just immediately starts recoiling while he's holding the saxophone. This is not.
He's like, I'm really open, but not that open.
Yeah.
They keep cutting to him. It's great. Okay, so this one they go 30 years in the future. The one coming up.
They start going 30 years in the future, and then they start hopping around.
Okay, so Back to the Future 2, they go 30 years in the future, and then they start hopping around.
They also, I think they go back to 55. I know that they go multiple timelines.
They start bouncing around. Okay.
The last shot of the movie, he has a food processor attached to the car now.
Yeah, they don't need uranium or plutonium
Miller
anymore.
Lite and banana peels. So, we're going to be able to find that in the future.
Miller Lite and banana peels? Bananas will definitely not be there. Bananas are almost gone now.
I don't know what we're eating these days, but it's not what was in the 50s.
We're not going to have bananas in 30 years. That's not going to happen.
Miller Lite, though.
Miller Lite will be around,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough product placement in this movie.
Hell yeah, bro.
Survival.
Well, cool. You want to just start the next one?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Do you remember the future?
You've got to come back with me. Where? Back to the future.
Are we back?
We're back.
What do you mean we're in the future?
October 21st, 2015.
Marty, we're going to be able to see our wedding.
Wow. The future. I gotta check this out, Doc.
Look what happens to your son.
He's a complete wimp.
Don't talk to anyone.
You've been looking, Bob! Hey, look!
Don't touch anything.
I need to borrow your hoverboard.
And try not to look at anything. I didn't invent the time machine to win at gambling.
I can't lose.
I invented the time machine to travel through time.
Hey, Doc, I'm all for that. What's wrong with making a few bucks on the side?
Now, the time continuum has been disrupted, creating an alternate 1985.
There have been a few changes.
It's like we're in hell or something.
No, it's Hill Valley, although I can't imagine hell being much worse.
But they'll all be back.
Eat less, slackers!
Biff?
Hello? Hello, anybody home?
Well, it can't be you. You're so big.
Michael J. Fox. Christopher Lloyd. Michael J. Fox.
More like a couple of teenagers, you know?
And Michael J. Fox.
Mom, is that you?
Steven Spielberg presents a Robert Zemeckis film, Back to the Future, Part 2.
They really thought 2015 was going to be cooler.
A lot cooler.
Yeah.
I just want the hoverboard.
You just want the hoverboard?
Yeah.
I want the self-tying shoes. That's pretty cool.
For 20 grand.
I think that's how much they cost in real life. Yeah. I should look that up.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I want the Jaws, like the movie.
Oh, the Jaws 3D.
that come in
The
3D
4D
and attack
in the
camera.
center square.
Yeah. Just imagine The Conjuring like that. People just getting traumatized.
Hell yeah.
I do like that everyone else is just over it. They just see that every day.
Yeah, they've dealt with
It's
that.
kind of like Times Square with all those billboards. Everyone just ignores them.
Everyone in this movie, unless you're a main character, is completely checked out.
Yeah. So everyone's way dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
What an interesting film. I like that a lot. I think I've seen like clips from this one and the third one in the past, but I've never watched the full movie. I like it a lot. I'm surprised it's not. I mean, this is one of the most famous time travel trilogies of all time, but people don't go back and watch these movies very often. It doesn't feel like
That's got a big fan base.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
sure
It just doesn't get
maybe
like
not in Kansas.
brought up.
I guess, yeah.
I guess as much. Like it doesn't come back to the conventions because it exists in the past. Like
right.
Terminator, there's still more Terminator.
That's a great point. I get like it's done. So I guess that's why it's not currently on the forefront of everyone's brain, but
they're still making more Star Wars.
The upside is everyone thinks it's good and it's done.
They even said to be concluded right here after the second one.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to tie it up nicely.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I bet they will. Okay, let's do a quick little
synopsis.
Let's do a little synopsis, dude.
I could try.
Okay.
It's going to be hard.
There's a lot of time travel in this one.
Well, all right, so it starts right off where the first one ended.
Right.
Except this time Doc comes in with the flying DeLorean. And
goes, the actress is different.
The actress is different. It's pretty messed up. At first, she looks exactly the same, but then she starts acting. Not cool.
Not cool. Good thing she's barely in this movie.
Yeah, that's why she's asleep during the whole thing. Because they're like, all right, we really messed up. This one can't act, but she does look exactly the same. Give her like 4 lines and then knock her out 3 times.
And then she'll wake back up and then she'll get knocked out again. You put her on a porch and forget her for the rest of the movie.
Forget her. Yeah, she never woke up after that.
No, she never came back.
So yeah, Doc comes in. Marty McFly is super excited. He's about to go on that date he's been talking about the whole first movie. The new little Toyota truck. Super hyped.
Hell yeah, bro.
And then Doc's like, we gotta go to the future.
Marty!
And Marty's like, nah, dude, listen. We got a nice car, got my girl. Let's just chill out for one weekend.
Because
I'm trying to park.
I mean, how long has it been since he got back to his house? Like
5 minutes. He just found out it's okay. And he's relieved.
After the first movie.
Yeah.
It's been 5 minutes until the second movie starts.
Yeah, and Doc throws him into the car with Lorraine.
Right.
Or daughter Lorraine. Jessica? Yeah, throws her in.
Okay.
And
Jennifer.
they go 30 years into the future.
Jennifer.
Is it Jennifer? Yeah, it is.
It might be Jennifer.
So they go to the future 30 years, 2015.
Yes. And they're going there because Doc came back and told Marty
that his kid's in trouble.
His kid is in trouble.
Yeah, he's going to prison for 15 years for something. Griff, which is Biff's son.
Grandson.
Yeah.
Is it his grandson?
I think it's his grandson. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he set him up.
Yeah.
Some kind of robbery.
And
blamed it on him.
Yeah, and Griff, Biff's grandson, and what did they Marty Jr.
Marty McFly Jr.
Marty McFly Jr.
Who are way dumber than their counterparts.
They're also played by the same people.
They are, but they're just super dumbed down. It's just hilarious. Also, Griff is just screaming with a tin hat on.
All the costumes of the 2015 as conceived by people from the 80s are exactly what the 80s people thought the future would look like. Just weird urban, like not really cyberpunk, but just weird
kinda
urban.
cyberpunk.
It's like Fifth Element clothes.
Yeah. Or Batman
crazy.
and Robin rave scene clothes.
Yeah.
Kind of like that
good
society, but mainstream.
Yeah. Pepsi's still the drink of choice.
Yeah, Pepsi's still everywhere. We saw Miller Lite again, I'm pretty sure.
We're only 20 minutes into the movie so far.
Yeah.
True.
So I guess after all this, Marty's supposed to change the course of time to basically save his family.
Right, because this event is going to ruin his family's future forever.
Right.
Somehow.
They don't really explain why this is going to happen. It's just this is the first event that causes the decay.
The
of
big
family.
I mean, remember when I was saying,
other
one when I was like the first movie handles the exposition so well. Well, this movie literally they just start and then Doc Brown screams all of this at Marty.
It's
like,
true. Yeah.
Your son's gonna do the we gotta go over here right now. Like, just who knows what's going down? You're just like, all right, we're in the future. This is cool.
Pretty cool. The cars are. The DeLorean's still the coolest car. Easily.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. All the future cars are just boxes.
They're like Honda Insights, but
they look
all
like
types
the
of cars.
Nissan Cube.
Yeah, they just like an Apple mouse.
Yeah. Pretty lame. But they do fly around. There was an old school Jeep that was in the air.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. The hoverboards, though, that is the coolest.
Right.
But anyways, he gets back into the 80s cafe this time.
Yes.
So in 2015, they have like a novelty 80s style cafe. So he goes in there and he's supposed to stop Marty McFly Jr. from getting beat up.
From getting involved
in the robbery
scheme.
Right.
Because I guess they were going to use him as a scapegoat if anything went down in general.
I think I think that's what the plan was by Griff.
Yeah.
Biff's grandson.
So anyways,
grandson Biff.
Marty McFly Jr. gets...
Oh, that's probably how they did it.
So dumb. So Marty McFly Jr.
That happened.
He gets chucked behind the counter, gets knocked out, and then Marty McFly gets to kind of pop up and take his place.
Because they look exactly the same.
Yes. Exactly the same. Marty McFly looks smarter.
It's Michael J. Fox with more. Michael J. Fox after a cup of coffee is that guy.
He's the 80s version. So then they get into like a hoverboard chase,
which is an exact like replica of the skateboard chase from the first movie, just with hoverboards.
Honestly, like the first 20 minutes of this are kind of the same thing.
Peppered with all these moments from the first movie. This actually happens throughout the movie, but especially in that opening scene.
Yep.
And then they keep doing it, like either bringing back moments from the first movie, like the actual moment just from a different angle, or just taking the joke and doing it again.
Right.
Yeah, it's really
multiple shots, multiple jokes.
It's for some of the scenes where they like recreated it or reshot it, it's hard to tell if it's the old footage from the first movie or they just redid it all.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I think
there is a couple you can see it's the old one.
Yeah.
But most of it they redid.
I'm curious like what the level of VFX was at when they were making this. Like could they like tie old footage and new footage together and make it look okay? Because some of the VFX stuff that they were doing with like the car flying and like smoke effects was not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an old movie, so it's fine. But it makes me curious if they had to reshoot a lot of it because they just didn't have the technology to make two Marty McFlys show up at the same time from old footage and this new footage.
Right. I don't know how they did that. We'd have to check it out.
Yeah.
But it did look great.
You could.
Whenever he's whenever he's on the screen at the same time, it looks
great. Yeah. So where are we in the plot?
So they have this whole hoverboard chase, and it ends with Griff and company getting arrested for
crashing into the Capitol building.
So that saves his family. And then meanwhile, Marty finds a book of sports betting.
It's a sports almanac,
Sports almanac, and wants to get it so he can get rich. And then old Biff, who's hobbling around in the future this whole time.
He's probably the best character.
He's so good.
He's also smarter now.
Yeah.
Old Biff gained some wisdom. Yeah.
He overhears that they're from the future and that their almanac thing, so he somehow gets a hold of the almanac and then follows them to the...
Well, he
steals the time machine and goes back, and we don't see what happens, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Yes.
There's a whole aside where the girlfriend goes to her future house and sees what her family is going to look like, and they're all weird and dumb.
Yeah. The daughter
is just strangely weird.
Strange.
I honestly kind of checked out of that scene. I don't really know.
I don't even know what the point of that scene was, aside from...
Well, it shows that in the future, Marty McFly is washed out and sad, and he's lost everything.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, and this is one of the earlier parts where they bring in what I think is one of the biggest flaws of the movie, or just like most hilariously weird parts, is that they've established that Marty has a character flaw that did not exist in the first movie, but 5 minutes into this one, whenever someone calls him chicken, he's like, no, and it's like people always say it to him to get him to do dumb shit, invest in...
Gets hardcore triggered.
Oh, and then he gets fired immediately because this dude calls him up. Needles is his name. And like, we're kind of supposed to know Needles, but...
No, I think you're just supposed to know it's a shady business. From the moment you see him from his name, you're just like...
But Jennifer, when she, like, old Jennifer, who's now in the future, looked at it and was like, Needles? Like, she knew.
I think it was a, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Or it's just like you're dealing with a person called Needles
at the moment,
I think.
Maybe. Yeah, Needles convinces him to do something illegal.
And then a Japanese man fires him on the spot.
Yeah, 5 minutes later, immediately. Needles just calls him chicken. Yeah. Marty McFly's like, no one calls me chicken. 2 minutes later, you're fired. 3 fax machines going off.
That's right.
Throughout the house.
They thought the fax machine would survive to 2015 too.
Yeah, that is.
This technology is here to stay.
This is the future. The best thing we have going.
Triple fax.
Triple fax.
Instant.
Oh, okay. At that point, they think they've solved it, right?
I mean, they've solved the main problem, but now they've kind of established like, oh, like the future isn't so good. And part of the reason Marty McFly is so washed up is that they established that he got into a car accident because someone called him chicken in the past.
Okay.
And that like fucked up his hand, so that's why he doesn't play guitar anymore. And he's like,
bad at guitar, and he's super sad about it.
So they haven't solved it, but they decide to go back.
Kind of. They're just like, let's go back.
They think they've erased this future timeline. They're going to go back to normal timeline.
Yep. 85.
This is after old Biff has stolen the time machine, gone back in time, and done whatever he's gonna do.
Yes,
then he comes back into the
his
future,
time,
his time, 2015, and leaves the car there. So they're like, so nobody notices that he's.
They don't know that this has happened.
It's incredible that old Biff can fly that thing.
Old Biff, got some skills.
Yeah, best character, hands down.
Right, he knows how to operate a time machine. He knows how to take it.
He just overheard, Doc has a time machine? He goes, I know what to do.
I'm old Biff. I got this.
I got this. But yeah, they get back to what looks like Detroit in
1985.
They go to actual 2015.
Actual 2015
Detroit. They
Detroit.
go to the real world 2015.
And everything's messed up. There's cars that are eternally on fire.
It's dystopian.
Yeah. Strickland's got a shotgun. People are shooting at him with AR-15s.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
So they're going back to what they thought was their timeline.
85.
But it's broken.
But now, it's all
it's
dark
broken
and
because
destroyed.
a casino came into town.
Yeah.
And ruined the whole city. It's basically Las Vegas today.
Yep. It's Biff. He stole the almanac and he bet on the Cubs.
Biff has become the richest, most like powerful man in the world, and what he's done with this power is to stay in his small hometown in wherever Hill Valley.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And make it into a gambling town full of bikers.
It's like Atlantic City and Trump, basically.
Yeah, it is. It's the same thing where it just says Biff's up top.
Yeah.
Good commentary. A little early, but they did it.
A little early, but they knew they were doing it.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
So in this time now, George McFly, Marty's dad, is dead because he was murdered by Biff, and now Marty's mom is married to Biff.
Yeah.
And she's got a boob job, which
they
Marty is oddly.
He looks at it too much.
He looks at it too much. He gets like excited, and then he's afraid of it.
Yeah. He says, Mom, I didn't know you were so big.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Right, that whole scene is also a total throwback to the first movie.
Right,
where he's lying in bed and she's like, you're safe and sound in the whatever.
And then he looks at her
and then he wakes up and he's like, what? And then, realizes.
Not great.
Not great. So his mom's still drinking.
Yeah.
She's married to Biff. And all the kids are just wild. The sister's in credit card debt. The other brother still not working, and he's call him parole.
Yeah, they say he's in.
Okay, there we go.
He made it to.
And then Marty McFly, I don't know. I guess he's just not doing that hot in general.
He was supposed to be in a boarding school in Switzerland. He keeps getting kicked out.
Yeah,
is that how they justify his like
why he's not
that
there.
Timeline version not being there?
Yeah,
that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
I kind of missed that. I guess I didn't. There was too many Marty McFlys running around.
There's a lot of
lost
screaming
track
throughout the movie.
There was a lot of screaming.
So as eventually somewhere in here, Marty is like, okay, this happened because, and he gets Biff to confess that Biff has the almanac. That's what made him rich and famous.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get the time machine and go back to 1955, and now there's two Doc Browns and two Marty McFlys in the past.
Yeah, 1955 is the year where the first movie happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, the lightning.
And so now all the current plot is happening kind of in like the background or behind the scenes of the first movie.
Super cool, honestly.
It is cool because that's where you can't tell if it's refilmed or not,
right?
Or if it's B-roll of just the first one from different shots.
Yeah,
I could tell with his hair. His hair looks a little greasier in this one.
He does look a little bit older too, I think, in some of the shots. I think they did reshoot a decent portion. Yeah.
But either way,
anyway,
it looks amazing.
It does look great. He's back in 1955.
And then just hijinks for days.
Yeah,
I really thought
a little
this
bit
movie,
too much.
I kept thinking the movie was over, and then it kept going again
because
and again.
He solves everything.
He's
got the almanac at one point, from the principal from Strickland.
Yeah.
Well, it just takes the storytelling, whatever, fundamentals of that scene we were talking about from the first movie, where Doc Brown's got to get the wire in, but then he trips, and then he unplugs it on the other side, so he has to get over there. Like, they do that for the final 30 minutes of the movie of like, he's trying to get the MacGuffin, the sports almanac, and solve everything, but then he gets attacked by these guys, or then like he's about to grab it, but then someone else moves it, just like constantly.
We basically rewatch the entire like last act of the first movie,
from
a different perspective,
from different angles,
it's
all happening in the background while he's doing other stuff.
He's
in the rafters above himself playing guitar to save his other self from getting jumped by the bad guys. Just like, I mean, it is really cool.
It's cool. Like, he's in the principal's office trying to steal the magazine, and you could see his dad punching Biff in the face in the car from the first scene.
I wonder if this like blew people's minds when it came out.
I bet it did.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I mean, time travel movies are kind of like a dime a dozen these days, but
and it's not really that confusing. Like, you could tell
really
who's who and what timeline they're in super easily. Probably because it's basically the same exact.
The clothes
scene,
help a lot too, I think.
Yeah, they costume it well.
Yeah, I think these are really good movies. I'm surprised I haven't seen the last two before this.
This one was good. I definitely like the first one way more.
Yeah. To me, go ahead.
It's just so like cohesive, you know?
Yeah.
And you want more.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the last act of this one fell apart a little bit for me.
Dragged on a bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because we literally just watched it, like right before.
If I watched this movie today, I think I would have liked it way more.
I think so too.
And would have even been like, damn, I think I like this more than the first one. But since we just watched them back to back, the first one is way better.
It's the burden we carry, I guess.
I remember seeing this on its own the first time I saw this, and I felt the same way. Which is like, this is a very enjoyable movie, but like right from the beginning, it doesn't have the heart of the first one. Like, there's an emotional story in the first one that is not at all.
The first one's all about just like love, you know.
Yeah,
and then
love story.
This one is
it's a MacGuffin story.
It's constant weird
Maltese
snowballing.
Falcon.
All about money too.
Golden egg.
Sucks.
To me, this one is giving the audience the dessert the entire time, which obviously is why people like it, but also why I find it too much. Like, I will, I think this one's really fun, but like,
it is more iconic too, with the strap-up shoes and the hoverboards. Like, this is what people remember. Those things.
Yeah. Remember in 2015 when
we didn't get
all of the cringe internet decided that, why don't we have hoverboards right now? What a year. So what do we? This one does the exact same thing as the first one, where the last scene is direct tie into the next movie, which is super cool.
So now we're going to 1885.
Is it 1885? Is that the year? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Old West.
You've seen this?
No, I haven't seen.
Henry hasn't seen this.
No.
Have you seen this, Andrew?
Long ago.
Okay. Do we?
I don't remember anything.
Well, this is great. I think this is the first movie we watched on Marathon where one of us doesn't know what's about to happen. Well, cool.
Into blind. It's probably going to be pretty good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should just do it then.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Do it.
From out of the west, in a cloud of dust, a thunder of hooves, and a mighty...
Great Scott.
I know, this is heavy.
This summer, Marty and Doc go back one more time for their greatest adventure of all. Doc's living in the past.
Don't try it, Tenant!
But he's about to be history.
What kind of a future do you call that?
I'm going back to 1885, and I'm bringing you home.
It's the last roundup.
Come on, run,
It's the final showdown.
Hey, lighten up, jerk!
Where Marty makes a name for himself.
What's your name, dude?
Eastwood. Clint Eastwood.
What kind of stupid name is that?
Doc meets his mate.
You saved my life.
Emmett Brown at your service.
And Tannen meets his match.
I'll hunt you and shoot you down like a duck.
It's Dog Buford. Shoot him down like a dog.
Michael J. Fox.
Where'd you learn to shoot like that?
7-Eleven.
Christopher Lloyd.
There's a fella that can't hold his liquor.
And Mary Steenburgen.
I never ever met a man like you before.
Gentlemen, excuse me, but my friend and I have to catch a train.
This summer, Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis invite you.
Come on, Marty!
To the Rough Rider. Rip roaring, rootin' tootin', straight shootin'.
It's a holdup! It's a science experiment!
Rousing conclusion of Back to the Future.
Let the festivities begin!
Back to the Future, Part 3.
Train absolutely rips.
The flying train.
Yeah. So much faster than the DeLorean.
So much faster than the DeLorean. Oh, well, we did it, boys.
Yeah.
Only 3 this time. Very enjoyable, front to back.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hope that this would be, at the very least, the best third installment was fulfilled.
Fully fulfilled. Yeah.
Easily the best. Did you guys like this better than the second one?
Personally, I think I did, but...
Yeah.
I don't think I did. I like the future stuff a lot. Just like the vibe of it. I feel like I've seen the old Western town before. Not that it was done poorly. It was done great.
Yeah, it's classic.
But yeah, the 2015 future from the second movie was...
Oh, you like the shoes. I see.
Yeah, I was into the shoes.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
I did like this one a lot, though. Do you have a preference, Andrew, between, I guess, the 3 that we watched today?
Definitely the first one.
Yeah.
I liked by far.
I think I'd agree with that, too.
I just like the setup. How he goes into Doc's laboratory home, and it shows you. You just can tell so much about him from that first 10 minutes of the movie.
The second 2 are so, like, referential to the first one.
Oh, it's rewritten, repurposed.
Yeah,
all the way
these
through.
Are not meant to watch back to back to back.
No, that's the only thing I would say what I did enjoy about today was just the throwbacks, constant.
Yeah.
Just the same script in different time eras.
Over
and over.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's hitting the same beats.
Gags. Yeah, same beats, same gags.
Which, if I watched this 2-3 years apart in theaters, it'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
that's how it's designed. Yeah. Not to watch 3.
But that being said, still awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Front to back.
I loved it. Henry, can you give us a quick little rundown of what happened in this one?
Right. At the end of the second movie, which they have to recap at the beginning of this one, we also brought
like
that
a
up.
TV show.
Like a TV recap.
It's exactly like how they got into the second movie. It's just right away, which is awesome.
They all just it's totally continuous. This whole thing is maybe like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was 5 days there, but it's just like
100 years.
Yeah, but still one solid week in the lives of Marty and Doc. Right at the end of that one, they more or less saved the day, and then Doc Brown, while flying in his DeLorean, got struck by lightning in the air.
Yes.
And randomly transported back to 1885. Whereupon, at that moment, Marty gets like a telegram delivered to let him know that Doc's doing all right in the past.
He's a
not to worry about him.
But
then he immediately learns that Doc Brown dies a week after sending him this letter.
How does he learn that? I can't remember how he learns that.
Through Best Western, a.k.a. Western Union.
Oh, Best Western?
No.
The hotel chain?
No.
Does he see a photo?
They get the telegram sent from Doc Brown, who knows, who's like, I don't want to have to explain this thing, but he gets a telegram in the middle of the rain from Doc Brown, like on this date.
Yeah, just I think it's just some dude that he sent the
and it
letter
just says, the letter just says, "I'm here, don't come get me." And then Marty meets up with the 1955 version of Doc Brown.
Yes.
So they can find the DeLorean, which has been hidden for 100 years or 70 years in a mine shaft. And it's when they're out there that they find Doc Brown's grave from his Western self and realize he died a week after sending this. So they say, fuck it. We have to go back and save him.
And he was killed by...
He was killed by Buford Tannen.
Oh my God.
The forefather of Biff and Griff.
Hell yeah.
Buford.
Buford.
What is Biff for? What's Biff short for?
Bifford.
Short for anything.
Bifford.
It's like Clifford the...
So that starts them off with, we've got to go back to the past to rescue Doc Brown.
But this time, it's just Marty that goes back.
Just Marty.
Yeah.
to go save the Old West version of Doc Brown.
Yes.
Which I liked this plot. Much better than the second one.
Yeah.
This one is just the pacing from the very beginning. It's just quiet. They're just taking their time, letting a moment settle. The second one never slows down. And there are some merits to the energy of that movie. But I think that was the main reason I like this one more, is that it just pacing wise is totally different. They get back to the past, into the Old West. And there's plenty of, goofy hijinks, but for the most part, it's structured much more like the first one.
Yeah.
They have about a week, and they at this very specific time. In this one, their whole plan, as opposed to catching a bolt of lightning, is that they have to get a train. They have to hijack a train and use it to push the DeLorean to 88 miles an hour.
Because gas does not exist.
Because gas does not exist, and he loses all his fuel in the beginning. But also one of my favorite
parts.
From an arrow, from a Native American.
Lots of Deus Ex Machina in this movie.
Lots of shit. So yeah, just like the pacing of it's much better. And what I like about this one a lot is that they focus a lot on this love story between Doc Brown and this woman that he meets in the past.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that it's at the level of the lovers in the first movie, mom and dad.
Right.
But it still is like a cute romance that you want to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the tension of the movie is like, is Doc Brown going to have to stay here and leave Marty, or is he going to have to leave this woman behind? And there's like really good stuff in that.
Doc Brown's so likable in these movies too.
He's
You
so
definitely
good.
want him to be fine. And
I'd rather him survive than Marty.
Totally, yeah.
Even if he's old, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Doc Brown's so good.
And the Buford Tannen, it's like a pretty solid bad guy. They do bring back the whole Marty being called chicken thing, but just they handle it much better.
They did handle it better.
Because he's actually trying to learn to not worry what people call him.
We didn't really talk about it as much in the second recording, but that was annoying.
That was dumb.
That was annoying in the second movie.
Right.
Yeah.
How much they leaned on if you want the plot to progress to piss Marty off, you say chicken. And
you call him a chicken.
It doesn't matter.
He freezes and does whatever stupid thing is going on.
Yeah.
And then he finally, at the end of this one, cures himself of the omen when he's erasing Needles.
Needles, who we learned is played by none other than Flea
from
Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Yeah.
I even saw, I didn't call it at the time, but I was like, that looks like Flea. And I'm like, nah.
You think it was hard to get him?
Well, ZZ Top was in this movie, too.
ZZ Top was in this movie. They got Huey Lewis. I think these rock stars wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox is more famous than ZZ Top. By far.
Michael J. Fox called ZZ Top.
Yeah, that's right.
Personally.
ZZ Top called to be in the movie.
Please.
Personally.
And they said, all we got is an old country jamboree. And they said, we'll do it.
The ZZ Top plays at the end of the film too, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the town is great.
Yes.
Such a cool Western town.
It is very
I'm assuming they built it for.
I think they must.
Yeah. And I just love how they use the saloon. Just like the 80s cafe and then the 50s cafe. It's always the same spot where the same thing happens.
Yeah. They also bring back the manure truck.
The manure truck.
The manure again.
Biff falls into every time.
Into the shit.
He says, I hate manure. Just like always.
Yeah.
I was thinking that's like a fairly unique perk of this whole series is not that they're like,
we're going back to stop Hitler. We're going back to 1930 Paris
or whatever. It's always rooted in this town with these recurring families.
Yeah.
So it does go back to the history of his family, or it feels more about personal relationships.
They're also so
and history.
caught up in it too.
Yeah.
It's not like we did a time machine and now we're gonna go on a mission. It's we got a time machine. Oh cool, it works. Oh no, we've
caused more problems for ourselves.
And they're just fixing their family's problems. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, which is I think why it works so well.
I mean, so too.
That's definitely the Steven Spielberg-ness of it, is to keep it about family,
it definitely
love and relationships.
It definitely takes your focus away from the time travel element.
Yeah,
it not in a bad way. It puts the focus on the story
the
instead of
element,
you watching the movie trying to pick holes in this weird narrative time travel thing that they've invented.
Yeah, and there's not a third party who's trying to steal this. The government's not oh my god.
You're not flashing back to 2015 and there's someone there that's hacking a computer trying to get them back. You know, It's an isolated story when they're back in time.
And just the town deals with it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have ruined it.
Oh, yeah.
That ruins, you got to go to New York
there's
City.
So many, we could list 100 movies that are ruined by this time travel movies.
Yeah, but having to bring the outside world involved, it's like, no, it's all just in this bubble of
even the town fair. Everyone's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This is a weird comparison, but have you guys played the Assassin's Creed games?
Some of them, yeah.
Do you fucking hate it when you leave the world and go to the like normal world?
It's
you go to like 2020, and you're like, your name is Desmond now, and you have to run around in a hoodie.
No, thank you.
I was just killing people jumping off roofs in ancient Italy. I don't want to be Desmond right now.
Yeah, they're trying to like. It's like someone in that company was like, no one will be enjoying themselves running around ancient cities. We have to tie this into the current time, so we'll just have this ridiculous setup. Oh, it's so tragic.
Yeah, I'm so happy this movie didn't lean into that at all.
Yeah.
It's just telling its own story.
Yeah, and I don't think they ruined it at all. Even with the flying train.
Right.
It's the end of a trilogy.
It's all
there's
good.
no consequences.
Go out with a bang.
Doc could make it happen.
It's steam power.
Even though it rips. It has jets on the back.
Built in the 1800s.
Yeah.
He did build a huge refrigerator that makes one ice cube.
That is believable to me.
Yeah.
More so than a flying steam engine.
This movie had one of the better the better jokes. Like I haven't laughed out loud at a movie like legitimately in a while. And Doc Brown, after he breaks up with Clara, is Clara right?
Yeah.
So he's at the bar.
And he's just so down.
He's deep in his feelings, and he starts telling his woe story to everyone else at the bar.
Well, first he orders like a shot of whiskey, and the guy's like, "You sure you want to do that?" And he's like, "Leave the bottle." He's like, "You know what this will do to you?" And he's like,
"You remember 4th of July?"
And so we're like, "Oh man, yeah." And he's just looking at this whiskey, and we're like, "Oh no."
And then there's kind of
cuts away to a bunch of other
cuts to a whole bunch of other stuff, and then it's the next morning, and he's still standing there, and he's holding the shot glass. And you're like, oh man, he's been there all night.
And it's 7 a.m. Everyone's still there.
He's talking to everyone.
Yeah.
And he's slurring his words.
Oh man, Doc Brown must be really fucked up.
He's telling him about time travel. He's telling him what the future will be.
And they're asking him about it.
And then Marty like rushes in. He's like, how much does he drink? And then the bartender says, that's the first one. He's still holding it.
He's just holding a shot of whiskey. Talking. About to take it for 12 hours.
Oh, it's so good.
Incredible.
Oh, and then he takes the shot and immediately does one of the better like stunt falls I've seen.
Yeah,
the table
instantly passes out,
smashes into a table,
falls face first into a table, which flips over, throws the drinks and glass everywhere.
I didn't think it was gonna flip that hard. It flipped hard.
Yeah, he crashes into it. It's so well done.
Such a good scene. So before they officially go back to the future, Buford comes back into the town, and he and Marty have a like old country standoff in the street.
Little duel. And Marty forfeits.
He forfeits, and then he pulls the same trick that Doc pulled from the first movie with the bulletproof vest.
Nice.
And they plant. Oh, I didn't even think about that one. I only thought about they plant it in the second movie when someone's watching a Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh,
and he does that exact thing.
Is that from a Clint Eastwood movie where he puts the?
He's got
plate?
a metal sheet under his poncho.
Do you know what movie?
I'm not sure which movie it was from.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that was an actual. Well, maybe it's. I think it's cool that it happened. I thought it was original for this movie, and I was more down. but still cool.
Nice. They also invented the Frisbee from this movie.
Really? Yeah.
I did think you said he was going to use that body armor as a Frisbee at first.
Oh, that would have been sick.
It's like a boiler door. I'm like, oof, that's going to be a rough one. It's going to kill Buford. Bifford.
Well, he does hit him with it.
Yeah.
He hits him with the door.
But not Frisbee style.
Not Frisbee style. Okay, so eventually we get to the part where they're trying to go back to the future. All of this shenanigans happens kind of like the second movie.
That's what I was thinking.
They're just doing like, got to figure out this part of the problem. We got to figure out this part of the problem. It's still super enjoyable to watch, and you're getting character development, but you know where we're going.
We're on a speeding train, and then the girlfriend shows up, and then stuff starts blowing up, so she's falling off, and her dress is ripping, and then he's got to throw the hoverboard back, but then there's and
then Doc learns how to ride a hoverboard at 75 miles an hour
and
on the side of the train.
A full-grown woman in midair.
It gets wild at the end of this.
It does get wild.
It gets like Spy
Steam engine the boiler exploded, and then they had a massive explosion, which was incredible. And then they ended up doing VFX over that for some reason.
They did do that.
Just to make it even bigger.
Yeah.
They find Jennifer on the swing.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Been sleeping.
Yeah, she's been there since the second movie, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, in her world, she just slept through the night.
Right.
But yes.
On the board.
Chronology of the trilogy, they end the first movie with like her going to time travel with them together. And then they recast into Elizabeth Shue.
Why didn't they just not bring her?
I mean, again, it's like I think they just filmed this original movie like that, and then they were like, "Oh, well, now this is the biggest thing ever. We're definitely doing right from that point,
and we can't just leave her. Yeah, she knows about it.
That's a good point.
Delorian at this point,
they don't use her in the movies though.
No, they do not use her at all.
My theory is after they replaced her, they saw her act the first few lines, and they're like, maybe not.
Character's better.
Let's just knock her out for the rest of the twice.
Passes out, comes to.
Like, wait, we need her to wake up to do this line. Wait, can we put her back to sleep afterwards? Yeah.
Definitely. Just have her faint or something.
And then and then she only wakes up at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
How about the parents at the end of this? Was this filmed like 5 years later? The first one?
I really think they shot the second and third one of these at the same time.
It seems like it feels
but
like
the dad, I don't think the dad's in the second one at all.
No, he's not.
But they did go, that's a great point.
They don't have Crispin Glover.
He's wearing he's wearing sunglasses. It's probably a different guy.
You think it's different?
Yeah.
And then, in the second one, there's one part where they have future dad, and he's hanging upside down the entire time, and he's like this weird clown
That's not even Crispin Glover, though.
No.
What was that all about? Is his back messed up, or what?
I didn't catch it.
I didn't even catch it.
They might have said, but I was too revolted.
Yeah.
By this character that I loved.
I don't like the upside down man.
I think the worst part was when Jennifer saw the "you're fired" paper.
You're
fired goes away.
Is that the first line she has in this movie?
No, she said some other stuff. She's like, I had a terrible nightmare.
Yeah. Oh. That's right.
No, because she sees it fired after he doesn't get in a car accident.
You're right.
And their family went downhill because he originally had that accident, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
With the Rolls Royce.
That's the beginning of
he fixed his future from movie 2 in movie 3.
Yeah.
So not being provoked.
Right.
Being a chicken, he saved his entire family.
I do love that in this whole series, and I might have said this already, like there are just like emblematic, iconic moments of your life that change everything. And those are like how the movie turns. It's like the kiss in your high school dance seals the deal that you will have a family.
This is it.
The one moment you have.
I know, she forgets about Calvin Klein completely.
Yeah.
I mean, he does mess up with the whole guitar solo thing. But after that kiss, totally forgets about him. She's yelling about him being the dream whole movie.
Yeah.
Kisses George. Totally forgets about it.
No, George's dream now.
George is too dream. I'm going to drink Popov vodka and George. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, because Marty doesn't do this one drag race. His entire future is in the clear.
A-okay.
In the clear.
He is good to go. No hanging plot threads.
Learned his lesson.
Everything has been wrapped up. Perfect trilogy.
It is, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that was great, guys. That was great.
Yeah.
It was sick. It's probably the best overall series.
Yeah.
Like if you do all of them.
I really think so. I really think so. Well, cool. That is episode 4 of the Marathon Podcast. Do we know what we want to watch next? Should we tease it?
No,
we had some options.
We'll change our minds probably. But there's Scream. Scream is on the table.
Scream is on the table.
Scream's a good one.
I would like to do some horror.
Yeah, I think that'd be super fun.
Scream would be a good one.
Yeah.
But There is Resident Evil.
How many movies are
6?
6? Okay.
There might.
Sure. I looked it up. There's 6.
Okay.
If anyone's listening to this podcast and
the
has
way.
recommendations for what we should watch, maybe we'll listen to them.
Email somebody.
Email. It's
if
in
that's possible.
It's in the description of the podcast. There's an email there. You can find it.
Only the worthy can make suggestions.
Thank you guys. This has been really fun.
Yeah,
it's been a fun day.
It's been all right.
With that, that's the end.
We're out.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Marathon Podcast. Our theme music, as always, is courtesy of Jacob White. If you're interested in learning more about this show or other things that myself, Henry, and Andrew have going on, drop me a follow at Colt45Joyce on pretty much all social media platforms, including YouTube and Twitch. And then follow Andrew at Andrew Deuteronic on Instagram. That is Andrew Dudaronek. And Henry doesn't do social media, so if you're interested in what he's doing, follow Andrew and I, and we'll try to keep you up to date as well. Once again, thank you so much for listening to the Marathon Podcast. My name is Colt, and I'll talk to you next week.